I love that being in sort of something so connected and so grand, it makes me feel small but also part of it, which is really lovely. Because I think when I'm functioning in the world, you bring that I to everything, and it's a bit theatrical, and just when you're in nature you can just be yourself and you feel completely accepted. My goals as an arborist, it was never about me as the arborist or how well I can climb. It was about trees, serving the trees, learning as much as I possibly can about trees in terms of science and indigenous knowledge and classically esoteric ideas. But this channel is about exploring that and communicating it and talking to really interesting people in a whole variety of different fields, and just trying to knit that together and bridge these topics together so we can really get to understand the natural world that we are part of and not separate from. I guess like through time, if you think of all these great scientific discoveries, you know, penicillin, the light bulb, they came about just from observing things and observing phenomena, or observing this correlates with this, or this happens when this happens. But really, like, your observational powers, which requires you to not have a judgment about something, it only really happens when you slow down. And, you know, observing things creates curiosity. And curiosity is just one of those, it's the fabric of life. It just makes life really exciting. There is tremendous beauty in the mundane, but you really need to be able to slow down to witness all these things, like, you know, the shininess of this beech leaf and the way that a poplar leaf trembles in the wind, and the textures and the colour of the moss on this tree and how warm it is. And this forms, you know, the fabric of a really good life. And it's become really the ethos around my business is I want to slow down to be able to relate and work with trees. It's a really important part of doing good work, and doing good work is satisfying. It gives me tremendous wealth in a internal sense, not necessarily from a financial sense, but ironically, I've actually found that doing really careful work, and careful work to me takes time. In the pruning sense, it might mean I need to get out further on limbs and make a lot more smaller cuts. It all takes time. But ironically, there's a market for that, and my clients are paying me to do that. They want people that care about their trees working on their trees. They want someone knowledgeable. It's amazing. These videos are really just about the art of living and I use nature and the natural world as my teacher, as the tool to allow me to do that. And I just want the opportunity to share it with other people, because I think that the lessons that we're taught from our culture, from peers, from parents, they don't necessarily work. They didn't in my case, but I found that the lessons that I get from walking around a forest or spending time in the mountains are far, far superior to anything that I was ever taught by a human. The intelligence within this living system is just astounding. You feel like trees are watching you, they can sense you, they can hear you, they can feel you, they can smell you. And I really want to lean into that, into the knowledge, the science, but also understand more from indigenous communities about how they understand trees and communicate with trees, of which they've been doing for millennia and centuries. And I want to bring all of these things together, all these different ways of looking at the natural world and living systems. Science is brilliant, but we can only answer certain questions with scientific thinking. And the rest we have to just use our human capacity, our eyes and our heart and our ears, observing, feeling. How do trees make us feel? That's an incredibly difficult question to answer with science, but yet it's irrefutable when we feel it.